Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sophia and you're watching SoFigures. In my last unboxing video, I did mention to you all that I was going to be setting up my glass detolfs and doing a bit of organizing, a bit of housekeeping with all of my figures that I currently own. If you are someone who is looking into collecting figures in the future or you're just starting out, I would highly suggest figuring out how you're going to, display all of your figures or store them, because if there is a chance they fall over, they break and they lose their value, or just too hard to fix them ever again. So I would highly suggest organizing how you're going to set them out, where you're going to set them out, because location plays a big role in that as well. In my study room, I currently am building a little area for all of my figures, and I'm currently thinking about how I'm going to organize them in terms of shape, height, and the way that they're faced. So when I was doing my research at the beginning, before I started actually receiving all of my orders, I went out and bought some detolfs. I ended up buying only 2 for the moment, mainly because they're obviously not very cheap, and I didn't know how far my figure collecting was gonna go. But now that I'm here and I have 2 cases already, I kind of feel like, there's gonna be a need for a few more cases or a few more detolfs, mainly because my pre-orders are looking a bit hectic and a bit expensive. For this video, I will be showing you how I unboxed and how I sort of set up the detolfs, and I will also be showing you how I am planning to organize or place all of my figures and how they're gonna look at the end. I also want to give a shout out to my handy dad. He was super excited to help me set these up, and he did such an awesome job. He was really patient with me and really gentle with this glass detolf. Thanks Dad. I'm really excited to show you guys the end result and to show you guys a little bit about how it was set up and how long it took as well. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So here we're starting with the base of the detolf using our own protective stickers. These help move the detolfs across the floor as well as making them non-scratch. Using the packaging from the box to protect our build as well as the tiles again. We had a lot of fun doing this, trying to read instructions and figure out where everything goes. Yeah, it was a good bonding time. And you can see why in this video you need 2 people, mainly because the glass backing is a bit heavy, so you'll need to try and angle everything up together and try to stabilize the glass as well. The last thing you want is something falling over and just completely shattering. From here, we were able to put the sides on and then move on to the roof of the detolf. Everything is like hand tight. You don't need the only time you need a hand screw is putting in the feet of the detolf. So this bit was pretty easy from here on out, putting in the metal stubs to place the shelves in. And yeah, it was a pretty easy breezy and chill build. We highly enjoyed it. So we're doing a bit of quality check as well and just making sure that everything was in its right place, and making sure that the detolf wasn't jiggling, moving, or anything was loose. I guess the last thing we want is, while we're moving or placing things inside the detolf, is having the whole thing just sway and completely coming apart. The last part was to put the door on and place the shelves in the whole detolf. Here I am unpacking the shelving for the detolf. There's not much to this step other than carefully placing the shelving on the metal nubs. As you can see, I was very happy with the end product. And this is what it looks like without any figures in it yet, nice and clean. The first figure I'll be putting in is my Dark Magician scale figure, just giving him a bit of a clean up. He is my favourite, so he'll go straight to the top. The second shelf, or the second figure, will be the Ichiban Kuji Giyu Tamioka figure. Demon Slayer is one of my favourite animes, so this will be my little Demon Slayer shelf. And I'm just popping in my Nezuko Kumamoto figures. It was a bit tricky because there are different heights to the figures for this shelving, so I had a bit of fiddling to do, trying to figure out where they would all go. Trying to make it look very aesthetic as well. Next shelf is dedicated to my Hatsune Miku Sakura version figures. I'm obsessed with this version of her. The moment I laid eyes on her, I knew I needed to have a full-on collection of every figure in this version. For the shelf, I ended up using a small acrylic riser from my local stationery store. I think it was about like $3. It just adds some variety in height on this shelf, and it turned out pretty cute. This is a little bit of a speed up of how I ended up using the shelf. And I ended up adding my Rem figure Iroha and Asuna to the bottom. All the figures in the case, it looks so amazing, so clean, and it gives it such an elegant feel as well. Knowing that all my figures are nice and safe, dust-free, gives me such a peace of mind, especially now that they're not going to be touched or knocked over, they're all safe. I'm truly excited to buy a few more cases, especially because I have some pre-orders on the way. So let's move on and talk about some tips. So as I mentioned earlier on in the video, if you are someone who is starting out, I think it's super important to have a plan about how you're going to set up all your figures. Obviously figure out your budget. Cabinets can get quite pricey. These ones in particular cost me about $169 Australian. I can pop the link down below where I got them from. I'm not entirely sure if they ship internationally, but I think all over the world you can buy these type of cabinets. So yes, think about how you're going to store your figures, your budget, and think about the type of figures that you're getting. If you're getting obviously like bunny figures, they're gonna be quite tall and they're not gonna fit in something this size. Some do, some don't, but I've measured a few that I've ordered and they're not gonna fit in these. So that's something to be mindful of as well. Another thing is thinking of the capacity of all of your shelving or your cabinets or detolfs. So for me, I will probably fill out 4 of these detolfs, possibly, you know, towards February. For me, I feel like this is enough storage. 2 for the minute is enough storage. I'm not entirely sure what it's gonna look like in October. I think I'm going to need maybe 2 more just to spread them out a little. What I have done, kind of bunched the figures that were related to each other in one level or one shelving of the detolf. It looks really cool. It looks, I guess, uniform, and they all kind of look nice just sitting together, chilling out and, you know, having a grand old time in there. But I have seen a lot of other YouTubers or a lot of other figure collectors really jam-pack the shelves of the detolf. So it's truly up to you how much space you're going to need. But I think planning that out before you, I guess, buy all your figures and they end up at your doorstep is super important. You don't want them sitting on the floor. You don't want them just randomly, especially your expensive ones, you don't want them on your study where you're gonna accidentally knock them over. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. I hope I have inspired you to get amongst figure collecting and get yourself some detolfs. In my next video, I have some really cool stuff coming up, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and the like button and follow along, and also that notification button, because who wants to miss out on an unboxing? So I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. See ya.